love and due respect, the best actor of the year goes to Shri Rajkumar Rao. Please come on to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rajkumar Rao's versatility, dedication to meaningful cinema, and consistent delivery of powerful performances continued in 2024. His recent roles in Shrikant, Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, Stree 2 and Vicky Vidya Ka Wo Wala video showcases his deep commitment to his craft, often transforming himself physically and emotionally to suit the character's demands, making Rajkumar Rao the NDTV actor of 2024.
जोरदार तालियां राजकुमार के लिए। भाई हम सबके दिलों के राजकुमार भी तो हैं ये। राजकुमार, आपसे पूछना चाहेंगे हम 2024 मेरे ख्याल से आपके जीवन का सबसे सुनहरा साल आप इसको मानेंगे?
Well, definitely. First of all, thank you so much, NDTV. Thank you, sir. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Shrikant, the real Shrikant, for giving us your life story and for giving me this opportunity to play you on screen, because it was one of the most challenging parts. But I had so much fun because when there are challenges, then only it's fun. Otherwise, it gets very monotonous, very boring.
आपने तो अपॉर्चुनिटी छीन लिया, नहीं तो मैं खुद प्ले करता था यार।
नहीं, प्लीज कुछ काम हमें भी करने दो। आप सब कुछ करोगे तो फिर हम क्या करेंगे?
नहीं, सीक्वल 2 में हम दोनों लड़ेंगे।
डन।
किसको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगा, किसका लुक बेटर होगा, देखेंगे ना।
डन। बट यार 2024 बहुत ही अच्छा रहा। I think God has been really kind. This is my second.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to this Monday edition of the World Report with me, Arjun Samar Mahindran. Let's take a look at what's making headlines around the world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reached the US. He landed at Maryland's Andrews Air Force Base Sunday ahead of his meeting with US President Donald Trump on Tuesday. Netanyahu was then welcomed at the Blair House in Washington Sunday evening ahead of his meeting with Trump on Tuesday. It's a very important meeting, the Israeli Prime Minister told reporters before takeoff. Netanyahu said he would discuss with the president Israel's war against Hamas, the release of all the hostages, and of course, the Iranian terror axis. His first high-level meeting will be on Monday with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. US President Donald Trump said on Sunday that the European Union is quote-unquote way out of line, and suggested he would slap Europe with tariffs after he hit America's biggest trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China, with import taxes. Now, Trump also spoke to reporters at the Joint Base Andrews in Maryland on Sunday. He said the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. Listen in to what POTUS said.
We have over a $300 billion deficit. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm products. They take almost nothing. And we take everything from them. Millions of cars, tremendous amounts of food and farm products. So the UK is way out of line, and we'll see the UK, but European Union is really out of line. UK is out of line, but I'm sure that one, I think that one can be worked out. But the European Union it's an atrocity, what they've done.
According to Canadian officials, Ottawa will file a World Trade Organization claim against US President Donald Trump's tariffs and also seek redress under a regional free trade deal. Ottawa also unveiled on Sunday a list of 1,256 American goods it plans to target in a first round of counter tariffs worth 30 billion Canadian dollars, or roughly 20.6 billion US dollars, starting Tuesday. The list includes cosmetics, appliances, tires, tools, plastics, furniture, coffee, wines, and spirits as well. A second round of counter tariffs could be announced in the coming weeks, when total amount of the products targeted would rise to to 155 billion Canadian dollars. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said Sunday that the United States is shooting itself in the foot by imposing a 25% tariff on Mexican goods entering the U.S. Take a look.
Entonces, como dicen, pues están dando un balazo en el pie, porque le suben 25%, pero allá va a haber mucha afectación. Aquí también, sobre todo, si esto se mantiene, pues las empresas que están aquí pueden llegar a valorar si se quedan aquí o se van a otro lado por el 25%.
U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said on Sunday that Denmark is not being a good ally when it comes to Greenland and its importance to America's national security. The comments come as the Trump administration doubles down in its new America First approach to diplomacy around the globe. For weeks, the administration has refused to rule out the use of military force to seize control of the Panama Canal and Greenland after declaring the U.S. control of both to be vital to American national security. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has demanded that Panama make immediate changes to what he calls the influence and control of China over the Panama Canal. The warning follows President Donald Trump's vow to retake the canal and meeting between Rubio and Jose Raul Mulino, Panama's conservative president, in Panama City on Sunday. On the other hand, Mulino told reporters he did not see a serious threat of U.S. military force to seize the canal, saying he had proposed technical-level talks with the U.S. to address Mr. Trump's concerns about Chinese influence. Now, clearly, the two men appeared to emerge from the two-hour meeting with different interpretations. Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani on Sunday called on both Israel and Hamas to immediately begin negotiations on Phase 2 of the Gaza ceasefire deal. Speaking at a press conference in Doha alongside Turkey's foreign minister, Sheikh Mohammed stressed that the ceasefire agreement requires both parties to engage without any further delay.
Started already engaging with the parties in order to define the agenda and to start engaging in those discussions. There is nothing yet clear about where are the delegations will come and when it's going to take place, but at least over the phone these discussions has started. And we hope that we start to see some movement in the next few days. And I know that it's critical that we get things rolling from now in order to get to an agreement before day 42, and it's critical also to show that there is a commitment from both sides to engage in a good faith.
Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah said on Sunday that the funeral of its longtime leader will take place on the 23rd of February, months after he was assassinated in a series of Israeli airstrikes in a southern Beirut suburb. Secretary General Naim Qassem made the announcement regarding his predecessor Hassan Nasrallah in a pre-recorded speech. It came days after a US brokered ceasefire agreement that ended the war between the Lebanese militia and Israel was extended until the 18th of February. Nasrallah was killed on the 27th of September after a series of Israeli airstrikes struck several buildings in a southern Beirut suburb. A top security aide said Nasrallah was inside the militant group's war operations room when the strikes, in fact, actually took place. Syria's Ahmad al-Shara, alias al-Julani, is in Saudi Arabia, where he met Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on his first foreign trip since being named president of the transitional government earlier this week. After the meeting, al-Shara said that the meeting with MBS had shown that Saudi had a genuine desire to, in fact, support Syria in building its future. The Syrian president also added that his meetings in Riyadh had included plans for cooperation in the fields of energy, technology, education, and healthcare. The commander of a main US-backed force in Syria has said on Sunday that the recent ouster of the Assad family from power should be followed by building a secular, civil, and decentralized state that treats all its citizens equally, no matter their religion or ethnicity. The commander of the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, Mazloum Abdi, said in an interview on Sunday that he recently met Syria's newly named interim president, Ahmad al-Shara, in Damascus. He said the two sides are negotiating with the help of mediators to find compromises regarding Syria's future, including the future of the Kurds. Jordan's King Abdullah will meet US President Donald Trump on the 11th of February at the White House, the Jordanian state news agency reported on Sunday, following Trump's call for the transfer of Palestinians to Jordan and Egypt. Now, last week, Trump in fact said that Egypt and Jordan should take in Palestinians from Gaza, which he called a demolition site, following 15 months of Israeli bombardments that have rendered most of its 2.3 million people homeless. Now, critics have called his suggestion tantamount to ethnic cleansing. A group of 50 sick and wounded Palestinian children began entering Egypt for treatment through Gaza's Rafah crossing on Saturday. It's the first opening of the border since Israel captured it nearly 9 months ago. Thousands more are to follow. The reopening of the Rafah crossing represents a significant breakthrough that bolsters the ceasefire deal Israel and Hamas reached last month. Israel agreed to reopen the crossing after Hamas released the last living female hostages in Gaza. Now, Rafah is Gaza's only crossing that does not enter into Israel. Artificial intelligence heavyweight OpenAI has launched a new AI tool called Deep Research, which it said conducts multi-step research on internet for complex tasks. Now, the tool is powered by a version of the upcoming OpenAI O3 model, optimized for web browsing and data analysis. OpenAI said the users have to give a prompt, and OpenAI's chatbot ChatGPT will find, analyze, and synthesize several online sources such as text, images, and PDFs to create a comprehensive report at the level of a research analyst. OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman has said that the tool is like a superpower and can do tasks that would take hours or, in fact, days and cost hundreds of dollars otherwise. An investigation into a Mexico-bound air ambulance crash in northeast Philadelphia continued on Sunday. 7 people were killed and 22 others injured when the jet crashed in a busy Philadelphia neighborhood. Now, 5 people, in fact, still remain hospitalized. At least 11 homes were significantly damaged, along with some businesses as well. The air ambulance plummeted to the ground Friday evening, less than a minute after it had taken off from northeast Philadelphia airport with 6 people on board. Now, they included a girl who had spent months being treated at a city hospital. Competing claims are emerging over a deadly attack on a boarding school in Russia's Kursk region that has been under Ukrainian control for 5 months, with Ukraine and Russia accusing each other of, in fact, carrying out the strike. The General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said Saturday night that 4 people were killed and a further 4 seriously wounded in the Russian strike, with 84 people rescued by Ukrainian servicemen from the rubble of the building. On the other hand, Russian Ministry of Defense claimed in the early hours of Sunday that it was, in fact, Ukrainian forces that had launched a missile strike on the school, saying that the missiles were launched from Ukraine's Sumy region. Serbia's powerful populist leader Alexander Vučić is facing his biggest challenge yet as student-led demonstrations intensified at the weekend in what was being called the Balkan countries' greatest ever protest movement. 3 months to the day after a concrete canopy collapsed at the entrance of Novi Sad's railway station, tens of thousands of protesters converged on the northern city, blockading its 3 bridges in commemoration of the 15 people killed in the accident. The tragedy has been, in fact, blamed squarely on government inaptitude and graft. Meanwhile, hundreds of voters in Ecuador gathered in the south of Quito to listen to presidential candidate for the Citizen Revolution, Luisa Gonzalez, during a campaign closing event. The crowd stood in the evening rain motivated by her message of change and hope. On the 9th of February, Ecuador will elect its new president and vice president, assembly members and Andean parliamentarians in the general elections. They will have to choose between 16 presidential candidates. Listen in.
Vamos a trabajar juntas, juntos las familias ecuatorianas, por cambiar nuestros destinos. No nos vamos a conformar. Hemos resistido tanto y vamos a resistir hasta el 9 de febrero, donde vamos a ir todos juntos a votar, todos sin revolución ciudadana, y empieza el cambio de la patria con Luisa González, presidenta.
And on Saturday, an intangible cultural heritage performance of underwater Sichuan opera Face Changing was held at Xinjiang Joy Ocean Park in Changsha, integrating the traditional Sichuan opera art with wonderful ocean world. The performer, dressed in a gorgeous costume, danced nimbly in the water while colorful fish swam among him, sending unique Spring Festival blessings to the tourists. Well, it's time we step into a short break. I'll see you on the other side.
Sometimes there's things a man cannot know. Engines won't turn and the train won't leave. Dawn is coming, open your...
I have a life too, Bill. Who had the calamari? It was for the table. I didn't eat any calamari, so I'm not paying for any calamari. What are you, 7? Ah, that's for crumpets, sweetheart.
Studies show our relationship with money is formed from the age of 7. That's why our expert team is here, to help you take control of your money today. Barclays, make money work for you.
Switch to EE Full Fiber and pay nothing up front. You'll get ultra-fast broadband, which stays fast even at peak time. So you can keep working while the kids nail dance practice. Or help them get that homework project off the ground. And we'll even give you up to £300 towards your leaving fee. No wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Search EE Broadband Deals.
Family life. It's made of ups and downs, and those little moments. But should the unthinkable happen to you? Life insurance from Legal & General can help look after monthly bills, the roof over their heads, childcare costs, and most importantly, your family. Because no one protects more families in the UK than us. Premiums start from £5 a month and they never rise. Plus there's a £120 gift card after you apply. Legal & General. Ensure life goes on.
You could part exchange your car or get cash in the bank with We Buy Any Car. Enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
I've been thinking, I want to plan my funeral so it feels more like a celebration. My parents always said I was born dancing. I just love it. Bhangra, disco, even line dancing. So when my time comes, I want to have music, dancing, the lot.
With over 150 years' experience, you can count on Co-op Funeral Care to help you pre-plan the funeral you want. To find out more, visit Co-op Funeral Care or give us a call.
We know travel can be confusing, so let us inspire you. Welcome to Qatar. Experience it all. World-class hospitality, diverse landscapes from city to sea, and fly there with the Airline of the Year 2022, Qatar Airways. Book now at travelup.com or call 0207 580 5000. Travel Up, flights, hotels, holidays.
Welcome back. You're watching the World Report on NDTV. The rupee tanked 67 paise to hit a record low of 87.29 against the US dollar in early trade Monday. after Trump tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China triggered fears of a broader trade war. Donald Trump slapped Canada and Mexico with 25% duties and China with a 10% duty. The move was the first strike in what could usher a destructive global trade war, forex traders have warned. The rupee, meanwhile, continued to face pressure due to sustained foreign fund outflows and the broad strength of the American currency in the overseas markets due to unabated dollar demand from oil importers and weak risk appetite. BSE Sensex and Nifty 50, the Indian equity benchmark indices, tanked in trade on Monday morning. While BSE Sensex went below 77,000, Nifty 50 was near 23,250. At 9:16 a.m. local time, BSE Sensex was trading at 76,843.16, down 663 points or 0.86%. Meanwhile, Nifty 50 was at 23,266.05, down 216 points or 0.92%. Last trading week, which ended on budget day, witnessed notable market movements with a positive shift, contrasting the previous week's performance. Meanwhile, Asian stock markets also slumped on Monday and U.S. equity futures pointed sharply lower. This after U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China triggered fears of a broad trade war and hit to global growth. The US dollar shot to a record high against the Chinese yuan, in fact, in offshore trading and jumped to the highest since 2003, more than 22 years against Canada's currency and the strongest since 2022 versus Mexico's peso. Indian batter Abhishek Sharma on Sunday slammed his second T20I century during the fifth and final game of the series against England in Mumbai. Abhishek reached the milestone in just 37 balls, missing India captain Rohit Sharma and David Miller's all-time record by a whisker. Now, Rohit and Miller hold the record for the fastest century among batters from test-playing nations. They both hit a century in only 35 balls. Abhishek looked on the course of surpassing them at one point, but missed out in the end. India triumphed over South Africa to win the Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup for a second time, in fact. The women in blue put forth a dominant showing, beating their opponents by 9 wickets. The PM has congratulated the Under-19 team, calling the victory a result of teamwork, dedication and sheer grit. Marcus Rashford will look to reignite his career over at Aston Villa now after joining on loan for the rest of the season from Manchester United, where he has fallen out with recently hired manager Ruben Amorim. The move was completed late Sunday, with neither Premier League club disclosing any more terms surrounding the deal. The Press Association and other sections of the British media have reported Rashford was joining Villa with a view to a permanent transfer for £40 million or $50 million, and that Villa was in fact paying a loan fees as well as covering the majority of Rashford's salary, reportedly worth nearly $400,000 a week. Fans at a Toronto Raptors game continued an emerging trend Sunday of booing the American national anthem at pro sporting events across Canada. Fans of NBA's lone Canadian franchise booed the anthem after similar reactions broke out Saturday night at the NHL games in Ottawa, Ontario and Calgary. Hours after President Donald Trump made his threat of import tariffs on America's northern neighbor a reality. Now, just over a week before they gather for spring training, Los Angeles Dodgers players got together on Sunday morning. For what, you may ask? Well, for a different kind of a team activity. For the second year, Dodger player Chris Taylor organized a plunge into the crisp morning Pacific Ocean to raise thousands of dollars for the Friendship Foundation. It's a local charity. Also receiving funds raised from the event was the LAFT Foundation or the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation, as a thank you for all the efforts of the LA firefighters against the Palisades and the Eaton wildfires earlier in January. Now, Dodgers stars Mookie Betts Tyler Glasnow and Miguel Rojas were among the numerous players who turned out from the World Series champions. And Beyonce has won the Album of the Year at this year's Grammys, capturing an elusive first win in the category and marking her third win at the 2025 awards. Beyonce won the honor for her genre-bending Cowboy Carter album. She thanked the Recording Academy and those who collaborated with her on the album. Her daughter, Blue Ivy, accompanied her on stage. Earlier in the night, Beyonce became the first black woman to win a Grammy for the Best Country Album. She also took home an award for the Best Country Duo Group Performance for Two Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus during the Grammys pre-show, making it a trio of trophies total. Rapper Kendrick Lamar has won the Song of the Year at this year's Grammy for Not Like Us, marking his second huge win in the late stages of the 2025 Grammy Awards. Now, this follows up his win for the Record of the Year for the same song, in fact, which was his final salvo in a widely publicized rap beef with Drake. Lamar paid homage to West Coast artists while accepting his awards. And some drama from the functions. American rapper and record producer Kanye West is no stranger to controversy, nor is his current partner, Australian model Bianca Censori. The couple once again made headlines on Monday, this time at the 67th Grammy Awards, stirring up yet another controversy that reportedly led them being escorted out of the venue. Shortly after arriving at the Crypto.com arena, West and Censori walked the red carpet where they caused a stir. While posing for photos alongside West, Censori removed her fur coat to reveal a sheer dress that left her nearly nude in front of all. Well, that's all we have for you today. Take care and have a wonderful day.
I have a life too, Bill. Who had the calamari? It was for the table. I didn't eat any calamari, so I'm not paying for any calamari. What are you, 7? That's for crumpets, sweetheart.
Studies show our relationship with money is formed from the age of 7. That's why our expert team is here, to help you take control of your money today. Barclays, make money work for you.
Switch to EE Full Fiber and pay nothing up front. You'll get ultra-fast broadband, which stays fast even at peak time. So you can keep working while the kids nail dance practice. Or help them get that homework project off the ground. And we'll even give you up to £300 towards your leaving fee. No wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Search EE Broadband Deals.
By playing People's Postcode Lottery, you've helped thousands of good causes. So thank you.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Love, sweet love.
Right, now, on to number 42.
I like making sure I've got all the right tools for the job.
And now that I'm 50, that means looking after the life I've built, protecting my life if anything happened to me. That's why I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period, unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years for full cover. With Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life. Plus, unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Learning more couldn't be simpler. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call.
Cover Today are the only over-50s life insurer with no waiting period and no annoying trips to the doctors either. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Cover Today has given me genuine peace of mind. And now that's done, I can get on with something much more interesting.
To find out more about Cover Today, call our friendly UK team on 0808 143 4733 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
And today you can see the result. I remember people laughing. I remember people laughing when the computer was being talked about. You mentioned Mr. Vajpayee. I respect Mr. Vajpayee, but Mr. Vajpayee gave a speech saying that computers are of no consequence to India. So, what is important when there is a revolution? What is important is that you understand what are the drivers of that revolution and where exactly do you need to focus, where exactly do you need to sit in that revolution. I said that this revolution is going to change everything. And I want the youngsters in this country to think about it. There is a war going on in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is actually a war between the internal combustion engine and the motor, the electric motor. The electric motor is inside the drone, the engine is inside the tank. And if you look at what is going on in Ukraine, the tanks are dying by the thousands. And small little drones with electric motors, small batteries, not much bigger than that, are destroying the entire tank artillery infrastructure of both Ukraine and Russia. So the drone is the electric motor. The drone is the battery. The drone also needs to see. So the drone is a camera. In the same way, electric cars, the electric car is a motor. The electric car is batteries. The electric car is cameras. Robots are exactly the same thing. Robots are electric motors, multiple electric motors with cameras, with batteries. And this is what the revolution is going to look like. So there are basically 4 technologies that are driving this entire change in mobility. Electric motors, batteries, optics, and then on top of that, you can apply AI. Now I want to tell the youngsters of this country, people talk about AI. But it's important to understand that AI on its own is absolutely meaningless. Because AI operates on top of data. Without data, AI means nothing. And if we look at data today, there is one thing which is very clear. Every single piece of data that comes out of the production system in the world, the data that was used to make this phone, the data that is used to make electric cars, the data that is used to make basically all electronics on the planet today is owned by China. And the consumption data is owned by the United States. In China, the consumption data is owned by China, but in India, companies like Google, companies like Facebook, companies like Instagram, X, they own our consumption data. So if India wants to talk about AI, it has to first answer the question, what data is going to power that AI? And the answer today is India does not have that data. Neither does India have production data, neither does India have consumption data. We have handed our consumption data to the big American companies, and the production data we don't have anyway. So what would that vision look like? The first thing, we would start getting youngsters excited about this revolution. We would start to introduce the idea of a completely new way of moving.